Welcome to Nerd Sports, where we discuss topics that provoke thought without any fuss. Team of veterans and a brave civilian unite under Angry Me Productions' guiding light. We are a beacon for those who seek audacious humor, unafraid to speak, celebrating freedom with every beat, exploring controversial issues, taking a seat, navigating life with intellect, not defeat. The Nerd Force always with us, never discreet.
We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services, including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX, MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much, and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Me Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives, week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Okay.
Ladies, gentlemen, angry faithful of all ages, welcome to Nerd Sports episode 173. This is I understand 7:30 is the allotted time that we have for the show. I get it. Don't be upset. Technology. Hold on a second. Hold on. Bring him in. Max, front and center.
Oh,
Max, you are charged with being late. You missed a movement, sir. And you, instead of getting wall-to-wall counseling like we would have done in the old school army, sir, are getting a company grade Article 15. You're going to forfeit half your month's pay from this show.
sorry, guys. Listen, that's a prerequisite to be an E4 though. So it's a time on
7 days of restriction, 7 days of extra duty. You will be exiled to Camp Floor Buffer.
That's fantastic.
Hi, Max. We've missed you, bud.
Good to have you on here, buddy.
So like we were saying, technology has a way of pissing everybody off, and so every week when we start our show, we hit the go live button, right? So click go live. Then it gives you this little pop-up box. Are you sure you want to go live? Well, yes, I'm absolutely sure I want to go live. Why? Well, because that's why we're here in the first place, right? So you click that button, and then it just sits there and goes circle, 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 circle. It's like today, Junior. I mean, so we apologize for being slightly tardy. We didn't want to start ahead of time, and then technology throws like a curveball at us. It's like when you're trying to play golf. You got this nasty slice where everything goes off to the right. So what do? You close your club face, you adjust your stance, and you take the most perfect swing. And what happens? Your ball fades to the right, to the left. We'll get this figured out eventually. One way or the other. Either we're going to blow up so big that we're going to get syndicated and we'll be like free beer and hot wings. or John Boy and Billy in the morning. That would be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Right. I mean, Max could be our preacher to from the evangelical church down on the access road. That'd be kind of cool. He'd be the rabbi. Right.
I can see that.
I think Max is muted again. I can't hear him. Technology.
Speak now, forever hold yourself, Max.
Yeah, can you talk?
Well, he'll do that anyways.
Oh, he's lagging like big.
Yeah, he is lagging.
Oh, he's lagging. See, I can say that and not catch any crap from you guys
during questions. Everybody's just everybody's just circles.
Yeah, see, I fixed my internet problem.
Dave's frozen.
We'll see. I mean,
at least
we're just starting the show, Johnny. We'll see if it's
he's frozen. Saluting the flag.
There you go. Leg. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into the weird, I purchased a couple of things over the last 24 hours. Today, I bought a Squishmallow from GameStop. Why did I buy this? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. See, on Twitter, somebody asked GameStop, why was it necessary to give a Squishmallow an anus?
Why not?
So GameStop goes, wait, we have an explanation. And then they left it there. They didn't come back to it. It's like they stuck a pin in it and they go, squirrel. And then they went off somewhere else. So I saw this today. I saw this today when I went in and picked up a couple of older titles that I've been wanting to play or replay rather. And I was like, you know what? I've got to grab it. So I did. No regrets. All right. But last night we were celebrating the in-laws' 46th wedding anniversary.
Uh-huh.
We went to go see Twisters. Excellent movie, by the way. Great for the big screen experience. Absolutely, 100%. And I saw our friend Claptrap.
The real Claptrap, not the BS movie one. The real Claptrap.
This is a $40 popcorn bucket that has not seen a drop of butter or a single kernel of corn, and it's going to stay that way.
Worth it.
Yeah. So as soon as I get my shelves rearranged back here to where, I can predominantly display things, you'll see both Wolverine and Claptrap back here standing side by side.
Fucking
That's so funny.
Only one of those is going to have, well, with it.
So, okay. My oldest stepson, we're a couple of days ago. He's like, which one do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, okay, that's a very broad question that
I'm going to fucking lose my shit.
Maximo.
You okay, bud?
Breathe, my pasty friend. If you need to reboot and come back in, by all means, please do.
Yeah, reboot and come back in.
Yeah, reboot and come back in. Okay. All right. So, I was like, you really need to quantify that question because that's a lot of ground to cover. And it can get really inappropriate really fast.
Can't leave it that open.
Yeah. I'm like, we've met. Do you know who you're talking to? So apparently, instead of it being a one-off, the cheeky controllers that Xbox teased a couple of weeks ago, the Wolverine and the Deadpool editions, they are going to put out on a limited run for public sale.
Nice.
And I told him, I was like, look, man, I said, I'm kind of torn here. They're both smuggling pumpkins. And I wouldn't play with either one of those controllers. They would stay in the box and a collector's item. Yeah. I was like, you know what? Just surprise me. Because honestly, I could go either way. And if they're still available, whatever one I get, I'll just go out and buy the other one myself.
Well, that's true.
Okay, yeah.
I would say I think I would still lean towards Deadpool more.
Yeah.
But if you have one, you got to have both of them. You can't just stop at the one.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like
back
in the 360 days, Todd McFarlane came out. He was commissioned by Microsoft and Bungie actually to come up with limited edition Halo controllers, where he drew a scene, and one was a Master Chief controller and the other one was a Brute controller. I've got the Master Chief controller upstairs. And if you go to try to find the Brute controller, get ready to pay some money for it.
Really?
How much?
Oh yeah. Last time I saw, they were going for about $150 to $200 a piece. This is for a 360 controller.
Damn.
I would have thought
And it's just because, one, it's Halo. Two, it's Todd McFarlane. And David, you're looking at me with that deer in the headlight looks. Todd McFarlane drew Spider-Man. He created Spawn.
You're also talking to the person that has Spawn number 1, Spawn number 2.
Okay, well, see, you give that look of like
I was looking at other things and making sure some other stuff was happening and not happening.
Oh wait, you were actually doing your job?
Yes, I was actually doing my job.
Wow. See, we're so unused to it.
All right.
It was a shock.
Ceasefire. Max, how are you? You good?
If StreamYard fucks up one more time, I'm gonna come to their fucking house, wherever it is, and I'm gonna assassinate every fucking one of them, allegedly. I'll burn the whole fucking corporate fucking complex down to the fucking ground. I'm talking scorched earth policy, motherfucker.
Remember, it takes at least 2 people to fuck an ostrich.
That's true. Well, they can have to be sick.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, the ostrich would have to be sick. Yeah.
Don't worry, Max. We've been having trouble with StreamYard since we started using it. We had a workarounds and stuff.
Listen, if one of us doesn't have some type of electronic problem during the stream, we just don't know what to do with ourselves. Somebody has to have some form of technical difficulty.
Yeah, if we have a show that goes off completely flawlessly, I don't go outside for 48 hours.
Yeah, no, we don't. Something real bad's coming down the pike.
And then I just go ahead and take whatever Powerball tickets I've bought for the week and I tear them up because all the luck got used.
Don't even scratch them.
Yeah.
That's not worth it.
Are we going to do the weird sports of the week?
Yes, please go ahead.
I've been waiting for this. Chris has been waiting for this. Okay, we're going to have a timetable and raise our hands on this one because we're all going to have something to say on this one. All right. The weird sport of the week was actually an Olympic sport that I didn't know happened, and it is
okay. Now listen, let's not go and call this a sport because this is not a sport. First of all, and second of all, you're right. I do have something to say about this one.
So much to say, but I don't know if it's gonna go over real fucking well.
Well, how far are we past the deadline?
I think
we've been on air long enough.
I mean, are we past the spoiler warning limitation?
Yeah.
Okay, good. They were good because.
Good Lord.
So for those of you that don't know, this is Ray Gun, which just. Anyways. She has a doctorate. She is a PhD in Australia in cultural studies, specializing in breakdancing.
This is where it got me.
She teaches this at a college level. She teaches breakdancing and breakdancing theory and the culture behind hip hop and breakdancing.
So does this delegitimize her doctorate when she goes back after having scored a 0?
It better, because it gets worse. So there was, there's the committee to get the Australian team to the breakdancing competition, right? She created that committee to go there, appointed herself as the chairman of that committee, and her husband was the judge that decides who goes to Paris to represent Australia.
Dear
But
God,
no shenanigans there whatsoever.
none.
You know what? I'm just going to
None
refrain
whatsoever.
from any kind of extracurricular commenting because I'm just going to sit here and do the most American thing possible, and I'm going to eat my ribeye. I don't care.
It's just
Like she was having a fucking seizure. All right. She was stroking the fuck out. That's not breakdancing. You get some black motherfuckers on there. They'll show you how to breakdance. I don't know what the fuck that shit was.
Look, for those of us who
That's not
grew up in
breakdancing.
the pop, in the pop revolution of the '80s, where we had breaking and
Yeah,
breaking to
breaking
electric
to
boogaloo,
electric boogaloo style. Yeah.
right? We had to suffer through the first incarnation of Ice-T wearing that like fishnet tank top. Talking about you gotta love.
At least they can breakdance.
Oh God.
I don't know what that wasn't
just-
breakdancing. That was
They've already
that reminded me of, and you told me she teaches and shit. That reminds me of when I was in high school, my sophomore year, I had Russian class. My fucking teacher couldn't speak any fucking Russian, and she was trying to teach this shit to me.
I mean,
just talk
you know
shit
what
to her
they-
the whole fucking time.
You know what they say, Max? Those that can't do teach.
That's true.
And she is the very embodiment of that.
Hey, yeah.
It was
have
so
a
bad.
breakdance competition, not have any black people. I don't know.
This was
I mean,
so
it's a
bad. All
13-hour
of this was
flight.
panned so much that they've actually removed breakdancing from the 2028 Olympics. Before the Olympics were even over, they said, yeah, we're taking that off. We're not doing that next year.
Yeah, and there's actually a petition going around from other Olympic nations, participating nations that are like, we don't want France hosting ever again. That's how far down in the shitter this Olympics has gone.
It's so good.
I like Bella's thing that she said. We gotta recognize this. Okay, but
It's
some
Bella,
of her
not Bella. Bella is my sister-in-law's dog.
But it says, okay, but some of her moves look like the homies who think they can dance after 3 beers.
And I'm going to quote,
like this.
In all honesty,
It looked more like, what was the name of that movie where the kid dies of bee stings at the end?
My Girl.
My Girl. There you go.
Yeah, My Girl. And then they made a sequel, like he got resurrected and shit.
That's
No,
That is true. They did make a sequel.
they did make a sequel, but it had nothing to do with Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
It's
Man,
Oh,
there's
man.
sometimes.
I mean, yeah.
gotta love it.
Was
There
that
is-
really in the Olympics? Because I didn't watch any of that.
Julia
bullshit.
Stiles had better moves in Step It Up. I think it's what it was called, The
Yeah.
Last Dance, or
Oh my God,
something.
yes. No, Save the Last Dance. Yes.
Save the Last Dance. Yeah, there you go. I mean, when she's getting fingered by a homeboy while she's on her period, that had better moves.
And some to show for it too. You got the little red fingers. I mean, what do you got here?
Yeah.
You got some green Adidas wearing fucking
Oh
retard.
God. Somebody was like, just.
I mean, it was like a bad, like a great value version of the Armenian tracksuit gang.
like it's literally it's a Subway. It's a Subway uniform. I went to Subway and somebody dressed just like her made my sandwich.
I mean, okay, so those uniforms are like the Mr.
Break
Pibb.
dancing to you?
Those uniforms are like the Mr. Pibb of Olympic outfits, right? and let me put this into perspective. Belle knows exactly where I'm going with this. All right, people, you go to a restaurant and you're like, hey, can I get some Dr. Pepper? And they're like, well, we have Mr. Pibb. Is that okay?
No.
Well, no, the fuck it's not, because here's why. Dr. Pepper was dedicated to his craft. He stayed in medical school all 4 years, did his residency and with flying colors to earn that doctorate in 23 flavors. Mr. Pibb, on the other hand, he got kicked out freshman year because he hung around too many playgrounds in his blacked out pedo van. That's why he only knows spicy cherry. So don't come at me with Mr. Pibb's this is good. They got Pibb Extra. No, that's just, hey, we're going to add a little bit extra cherry syrup to this garbage in hopes that you don't understand. They're trying to pull a Clark Kent on you people. They're going to put some glasses on it. And they're going to try to tell you that it's the same thing. It ain't the fucking same thing. No. Sorry, but I digress.
Flavor Aid and Kool-Aid. There's a difference.
That's absolutely
Kool-Aid will dissolve properly in some Thunderbird, though. Flavor Aid
will kill an entire fucking compound full of crazy cult leaders.
Kool-Aid Ricks is really good with soju too.
The one thing about Kool-Aid that I never understood after the whole thing that happened down in Guyana with that crazy fuck Jim Jones. Why hasn't Kool-Aid ever said like it wasn't fucking Kool-Aid? It was Flavor Aid. We had nothing to do with it.
Well, because
there's no such thing as bad publicity.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. I mean, so people are like, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Well, fuck. And now I want some tropical punch for Kool-Aid. Or hey,
wouldn't that be misinformation? And we're not here to give misinformation, allegedly.
No, because then
Flavor Aid.
Allegedly.
Then what Kool-Aid does is they go out and they put information on the back of their label that says does not contain, cyanide or anything of cult killing nature. I think that was a personally missed opportunity. But there you go.
It's us. We had nothing to do with it.
I mean,
I did an episode of Psychos and Sociopaths about that one guy that was in Chicago that put cyanide into
Tylenol or whatever it was.
Tylenol. It was Tylenol, and for a while there, they had that's the reason why we have child caps. That's why we have seals. That's why we have cotton in our stuff, because it shows that it wasn't taken advantage of.
Yeah, but these Olympics, I mean, even the closing ceremony, as cool as they tried to make it with Tom Cruise rappelling off the top of the stadium, yeah, people were just like, oh, this, he's got nothing to do. That was the most Tom Cruise thing Tom Cruise has done. That is the most Tom Cruise has Tom Cruised since Tom Cruise.
Could we say Tom Foolery? Cruise Foolery? Tom Foolery?
Tomfoolery?
Yeah.
No.
Tomfoolery? Yeah.
Shenanigans, dude. Shenanigans.
Here's another thing that I and it breaks my heart that I can't find the whole document and everything. I think I know where it is, but we're on the show and we're trying to get this going a lot faster. But there was a French woman.
Okay.
There was a French gymnast that was supposed to compete for France as a gymnast, but France wanted her to go to Paris and have different coaches and everything. And she wanted the coaches that were from her town that's been her coach for like years and years and years on end. So what she ended up doing is she was part of she's Argentinian. So she went to Argentina, asked them if she could compete for them. I think she won like silver.
Mm-hmm. So she competed for Argentina? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dyslexia doesn't know words.
There is that.
And here's the only basketball thing that I'm going to say this week. I hope the fact that Jason Tatum got sat. He was benched for the entirety of the Olympics. He played 0 minutes. I hope he takes that and uses that as fuel to shove it square up the league's ass next season. Because he just got done winning an NBA championship. Not that piece of shit little, hey, we're going to throw this, mid-season tournament thing in there. No. He won the Larry O'Brien trophy. And then he's going to get benched for the whole ass Olympics because why? Steve Kerr and LeBron James don't fucking like him. Take that as fuel, young man, and shove it square up their ass. Help the Celtics to raise banner number 19. Fucking do it. Just use that as absolute rocket fuel. Play with a chip on your shoulder all year. And I mean, that is some pure unadulterated chaos, and I am here for it. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
basketball, Johnny. Could I ask a question?
yeah, sure.
Did you see Mr. James, the fake goat LeBron, and his interaction with the young French male boy after the young French male boy was congratulating him on the win of his gold medal? Did you
No,
see his
because I think I've watched exactly 20 minutes of the Olympics this year.
No. It was actually last night that it happened, and he was getting out of his car or his limousine or whatever his ride is, and he's surrounded by his entourage of fake bitches. And this one small child, little white kid, the only little white kid around, came up and wanted to take a picture of LeBron as he's congratulating him for being the gold medal winner and everything else. He's proud of LeBron, obviously. He must be a LeBron fan. And told him to get face and get out of the way. Don't do that. Videos all over the place.
Yeah,
Gee,
I'll
That's a
find it.
classy
But
guy,
you
isn't
know,
it?
see, that doesn't surprise me at all
yeah.
I
because
mean, that's in keeping with the rest
No.
of his interaction.
yeah, I mean, just like Space Jam 2, it just proves that LeBron James is not only a terrible actor, but he's a terrible father and a terrible human being.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know,
100%.
I said what I said. And he can serve me with the cease and desist letter. I don't give two shakes of a rat's dick about it. LeBron is more like a don't, and that's a classic textbook definition of, or example rather, of what not to do when you're an NBA player. But
he's a role model.
yeah, so Red
Dogs are
Sox
black supremacists.
Red Sox star Jaron Duran apparently made a homophobic slur to a heckling fan at Fenway over the weekend.
Wow.
And the club suspended him for 2 games, even though he apologized for it. Here's my thing. Should it have been said? No. But the fact is that, you know, when you go to a sporting event, you're going to somebody's place of business, somebody's office. That's their work environment. Okay. You should go just like you go knowing, you know, by accepting the ticket that you purchased and going through the turnstiles. You accept the terms and conditions of the environment that you're going into. You have to be aware of your surroundings because a foul ball or a home run ball may impale you upon the head at any given moment, right? Just an inherent risk of going to a ball game. Ball players have never been the kind of people that go, oops, I shouldn't have said that. And they don't talk about things on the ball field in terms of golly, gee, gosh, darn, dang it. No, they use colorful metaphors like shit, fuck, cocksucker, bitch. The list goes on. I mean, I've heard some very creative blankets being woven in the outfield of minor league ballparks and major league ballparks alike. Did it offend me? No, absolutely not. Does it help that I use the same kind of language in my everyday vernacular? Yeah, it does to a degree.
Are you sure about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck face.
100%.
Anyway.
Because you're not going to get a point across to everybody by being nice. That's the whole thing. You can say,
Yeah.
excuse me,
So
excuse
this guy,
me.
you know, he's heckling Duran. You know, now bear in mind, Duran was probably like 0 for 4 for the, that day, if I remember correctly, because it was a pretty sound ass whipping, at the hands of the Astros, 10-2. But, he admitted that he'd made a mistake. He shouldn't have uttered it, shouldn't have said it. I mean, at this point, a 2-game suspension, it's not worth fighting. It's really not.
No.
Now, will we see the results of that suspension during this 3-game set against the Rangers at Fenway Park? Well, maybe. My point is that if you go to the ballpark, don't be surprised by what you hear. Don't take offense to it. let it roll off your back, really. And if you are of the homosexual persuasion, you're used to things rolling off your back anyway. So just let it go.
Giggity.
Protein for the mind, bitches.
Brian, piss on me.
I get it. Okay. Was that homophobic? Well, only if it rubs you the wrong way. And yeah, pun intended. But at the end of the day, it's really, what kind of a statement are you trying to make about the kind of character that you possess? And how and this is going to rub people the wrong way, but just how incredibly fascist do you want everybody to understand that you really are? Because if you don't agree with somebody and you want to shout them down or get them canceled, that's a way of using force to get your point across.
Unlike
it's in the dictionary. You can look it up.
What's happening in the UK, where that
the police commissioner, the police chief, is wanting to arrest Americans and extradite them to the UK.
Over here. You can't hide behind that keyboard. I just have one question for him. Do you have level 4 plates?
Yeah. Fucking bring it on. As a matter of fact, if we've got anybody in the UK that is part of our audience, please forward them a link of this episode, so that way they can reach out to me directly. soxfan1977.js@gmail.com. Please, I dare you, go ahead and send me an email. I'll invite you to my house. You and I can sit down on camera and we can have a very, very well-to-do conversation about the finer points of free speech.
You will not enjoy that conversation.
Oh, yeah, no.
How do we back that up, though? How do we protect Johnny in this enaction of the First Amendment?
Because people have a fucking very blurred.
911 does, Dave.
I don't know how we protect Johnny.
No, isn't it?
Anyways, I mean, it would be
no. Wait.
Keyboard warriors.
It's 811 that you have to call, right? 811 before you dig, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, you're not calling 911. It's 811.
No. Right, but here's the thing. There's a workaround. Okay. I'm not going to be doing any unnecessary manual labor. Okay.
Yeah.
I will tip off the police from a burner phone telling them that there's a body buried XYZ. I'll let them go out there and excavate the area. Then once they leave, I will go deposit the body in said area and push the dirt over. Problem solved, boys. Okay.
Throw a couple of dead squirrels on top. So when the cadaver dog, you bury down about 8 feet, you throw the body there, then you throw some dirt on top, then you throw the dead squirrels, dead animals right there. So then when the cadaver dogs alert to it, they dig down, they see the animals, they're going to stop digging.
You get your landscaping rake out, level out the area a little bit, throw some Bermuda seed in there, put some iron down, put some fertilizer in there, water it.
Or alternatively, you plant some endangered flowers on top of it, and they can't dig it up.
This is true.
That is very, very true.
Yeah.
See, these are the kinds of things that you get when you watch our episodes religiously. And it's people like Bell, we appreciate that about you.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate about
Or we could just do
appreciate about you.
Quick spot to this, since we're talking about making sure that you do something properly.
Oh, absolutely.
The best way that I have found, based on experience, allegedly, to make sure that you do it right, you want to get up close and personal, and you want to make sure that the individual is no longer breathing. That way, the blood is no longer circulating through the body. At that point, you're not going to make a big mess. All right? True. You don't want to make a mess. Nobody likes to clean up after a mess. Now, you no longer have this blood pouring out, so you take it to a clandestine, which means secret to all you non-knowing the fucking dictionary sons of bitches out there, and you strategically make sure that you unload the bodily fluids. After that, you can chop it up, you can burn it as long as it's over 3,000 degrees.
Listen,
that's what it takes for DNA.
All right, Dexter, that's enough.
I'm sorry. I was reliving old times, allegedly.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well,
How do we prosecute this guy? Just watch his YouTube channel. He explains everything.
I can tell you how to get rid of bodies, anything you want.
Right here, this is proof positive that tells me that she pays attention when I speak, because I have said this before.
Exactly.
Hogs exist and they love things soaked in diesel. It's sweet to them.
Yep.
That is.
And I love the fact that she tried to throw the cops off the trail by saying things you learn via Snapple lids. But yeah, there you go. All right. So Justin Verlander had a rehab start in Sugar Land it was over the weekend. Yeah, on Saturday, I believe it was. Apparently that was the most packed the Constellation Field had been in a very, very long time. Let me see here. As a matter of fact, and he's going again for another rehab start tonight. Man, okay.
What's a rehab start?
Well, rehab start is that, instead of throwing him to the wolves and having him face major league hitting for the first time in months, he's working his way up.
Okay.
He needs, that way he can, how can I put this? That way he can fine tune his arsenal of pitches.
Yeah.
He cannot suck right out the gate.
Right.
Well,
this occurred Saturday, so it was on the 10th. I actually went to the Space Cowboys game on Thursday. I took my father-in-law because I scored some tickets through VetTix. And minor league ballparks, for the most part, there's no such thing as a bad seat, right? But we were on the third base side, which means we were sitting on the visitor side, but we were probably about 5 rows over from the dugout. 4 or 5 rows over from the visiting dugout, and then we were probably like four rows up from the from the backstop, right? Backstop netting. Close enough to where you could smell the body odor coming out of the dugout, but close enough to where you knew the pit or the hit or players could hear you chirping at them. And I was in rare form, boys. It was the El Paso Chihuahuas, which is the AAA affiliate for the San Diego Padres.
Can you repeat that, please?
The El Paso Chihuahuas.
Paso Chihuahuas.
Are there Chihuahuas in El Paso? Can you confirm that situation?
It's literally across the river from Mexico, so I'm willing to bet yes.
At least one.
At least one Chihuahua.
Good enough for me.
Now, when it comes to places like Amarillo and where they are home to the sod poodles, what a fucking sod poodle is, I have no idea, but whatever.
Sounds French.
It is Amarillo. Anyways, but I'm sitting there and I forget the name of this player, but he's walking up to bat and he's in there and he takes a big swing and he just comes up empty, and I'm like, you look like the kind of guy who leaves the toilet seat up and your mom ends up with a wet ass in the morning. You bum.
You bum.
Right. There are kids all around. There are parents there, and the parents are laughing. The kids are getting into it. And, my father-in-law, he's like, I'm going to go sit somewhere else. I'm like, why? He goes, because I don't want to get arrested with you when the cops come. I'm like, I ain't going to get arrested. It's just called just talking smack, right? And then so this one, Sugarland, they're called the Space Cowboys. They're the AAA team for the Astros. And so, he's battling, right? He's battling hard at this at bat. He's fouling off pitches left and right. And he finally pops one up just behind the plate, right? And it's kind of drifting towards the first base side. The catcher overruns it. The El Paso catcher overruns the ball, and the first baseman runs in his backup and makes the play. And I yell out, I'm like, hey, somebody remembered how to field a pop fly. Woohoo! And the catcher had taken off his mask and was trotting back to the dugout. Just mean mugged me the whole way back to the dugout, and it was glorious. I saw him, and he was trotting down the steps into the dugout, still gazing at me, right? And I'm like, I now live in your head rent free. Ha ha. It was so great. I had so much fun that on Thursday. It was awesome. But yeah, it if you have a chance to go check out a minor league game, Chris, I know you got a minor league team out there in San Antonio.
Yes, we do. The missions.
Definitely.
Actually, is a lot of fun to go.
Yeah.
Watch.
And the tickets are not bad. I think like the most expensive ticket is like $35. And that's to sit in the suites, right?
Yeah.
But now, as far as like concession prices are going to be concerned, you're pretty much on par with the major league parks. So don't be too surprised there. But like in Sugarland with Constellation Field, where the Space Cowboys play, they've got a splash pad out beyond the outfield fence for the kids to play in.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, and they got like, you know, a jungle gym out there for them. There's a grassy area where you can sit. There's even a patio where you can sit next to the bullpens and watch pitchers warm up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's where I caught that home run ball when I went a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Sitting in that bullpen patio. But yeah, you know, and on top of that, I'm looking forward to the game coming up on the 16th, I think it is, where the Red Sox coming to town. So that's going to be the broadcast that I miss because I'm going to be at the game. But
yeah, what's sad is we got a little bit of NFL news from this weekend.
We do because there's preseason games being played.
I wouldn't call them preseason games, but okay. I wouldn't even call them games. I mean, when the Carolina Panthers, hopefully it was like their like C team or something like that, because Max, what was the score off of that
Panthers game?
Yeah,
I can tell you.
Yeah,
Panthers are
Carolina beat the whole.
Beat the. Where's it at here? The Patriots beat the Panthers 17-3. The Giants beat the Lions 14-3. Falcons fell to the Dolphins 13-20. The Texans beat up on the Steelers 20-12. The Eagles over the Ravens 16-13. The Jets, Jetss, Jets beat the Washington, formerly known as Redskin Commanders, 20-17. The Bears rolled up on the Bills 33-6. That's the game that I think you're talking about, Dave.
Yeah.
The Raiders lost to the Vikings 23-24. The Packers, the Fudge Packers, the Cheese Packers of the Green Bay Tundra. They beat the Cleveland Brown Pants 23-10. I'm sorry. I'm just making this up as I go. The Buccaneers beat the Bengals 17-14. The Chiefs lost to the Jaguars 13-26. Now, bear in mind, the first couple of weeks of the preseason games, you're not going to see your starters out there.
No.
These are for your third and fourth string guys to get some reps. These are for your third, fourth, fifth, and sixth round draft picks to kind of prove why they need to make the roster, kind of a thing, or at the very least prove why they need to be on the practice squad. The Titans beat the 49ers 17-13. The Seahawks beat up on the Chargers 16-3. Saints and Cardinals 16-14 in favor of New Orleans. The Donkeys beat the Colts 34-30. So that was the battle of the stalls right there. And the Cowboys managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, losing to the LA Rams 12-13.
So they're in mid-season form already.
Bennett Stetson the fourth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or Stetson Bennett the fourth threw 4 interceptions. Came out in the second half, threw 3 more interceptions, but hung in there enough where he threw the game-winning touchdown.
That doesn't cancel it out.
No, it doesn't cancel it out. But I'm like, see, this is what happens when you don't throw a football for almost a year and a half because you're too busy soaking up the rays in rehab because you were drafted as a 34-year-old senior out of college.
I still can't believe fucking
that. I mean, Stetson Bennett or the fourth is what Van Wilder would look like if Van Wilder had actually graduated in 4 years and played football.
Accurate.
Mm-hmm.
See, I can touch the fourth wall too.
I can
the proposal.
There's news, and this is just a rumor, and it hasn't been confirmed yet. But there is a new quarterback on the horizon for the Cowboys, so get excited. This is just a rumor, allegedly.
Trey Lance.
Little Nas X is going to be the new Cowboys quarterback. Yeah,
Little Nas X.
Little Nas X. Yeah. Oh yeah. Huge Cowboys fan. He's the guy. He's the one. You're not familiar with this?
Rico any day of the week. All right.
Max, you need to cancel your subscription to Russian Spy Me because that information is really fake. And
Are you sure?
I don't want that ever again on this show. Don't.
Gooch.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, it's fake news. Okay.
Yeah.
It's well
Are we still gonna? Are we still
circles
gonna,
where people pay to have scat smeared all over their bodies. But here, where we love freedom and cleanliness, not so much.
are we still gonna put in like piece and this year and give the money to charity if we win?
Do what, Dave?
Okay, last season for the NFL, we said we were going to.
You talking about doing individual records and then the winner? Okay. Well, I don't know. We can do that. I mean, Max, are you in? Like, we do we each chip in like $10 or whatever to an Angry Me pool, and then the winner of the regular season win-loss record, standings, collects the pot and donates it to charity or something like that.
100%, absolutely.
Okay, all right, yeah, we can set that up. And Bell,
anybody else's donation that donates.
Cowboys suck anyway. The Cowboys suck. Oh my god. Look, at least and I hate saying this. Please, Lord, forgive me. But at least the at least the Cowboys have won something. I mean, where the Titans fell like what?
Not like
12 inches short
recently, but
we're talking about 12 inches here. Yeah, no. Take you and your Old Town horse and get the hell out of here with that. Come on.
Yeah, we're not.
That's the quarterback. That's what they're saying. That he's got the Cowboy uniform on and everything. He's ready to go. Shit, look at him. It's perfect.
I'd rather see Post Malone do it, but I'm worried that Post Malone's going to pull an Amy Winehouse on everybody. Have you seen the way he's switching on stage lately?
Yeah.
So next week's games, Thursday night at Foxborough, it's going to be the Eagles hosting Eagles at the Patriots. We've got Saturday games. It's going to be the Falcons at the Ravens, Bengals at the Bears, Giants at the Texans. That's a Saturday game too. I wonder if I could try to get tickets for that. Take the boys to a game. That'd be kind of awesome. Lions at the Chiefs, Vikings at the Browns, Jets at the Panthers, Cardinals at Colts, Commanders at in Miami, Bills at Pittsburgh, Seattle at Tennessee, the Rams hosting the Chargers. So it's a double home game. Yeah, the Titans won in player arrests for the year. Well, the Cowboys have been holding that title for what, 10, 20 years going on straight, right?
I mean when they came to train here at MSU, the cocaine sales from what the cops at that time said was through the fucking roof.
Yeah, the cocaine budget Wichita Falls spiked that year.
Yeah.
Buccaneers at Jacksonville.
So what I'm hearing is local economy stimulation.
Right.
It really was.
So the Cowboys are, and speaking of arrests, the Cowboys are primed to set an NFL record for most players apprehended in the course of a weekend. The Cowboys are going to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. So nothing says, hey, break the no gambling rule by going to the home of sports bets. This segment was brought to you by DraftKings. It's like, I don't understand that. We've got all these sport books and all these sports betting apps sponsoring things for Major League Sports, but the athletes can't participate. I mean, as long as you can prove that you didn't bet on or against your team, what does it matter?
I mean, what they need to do is they need to have interpreters do it for them.
Right. Yeah.
Shit
The Packers
interpreters?
are going to Denver to play the Donkeys, and the Saints are going out west. They're going to play the 49ers on Sunday. I'm really not going to start doing our picks of the week until the regular season kicks off again.
You're absolutely right on that one. We're going to do it for the regular season and everything, because it's just I mean, shit. Last week, before even the game started, we lost how many players for the NFL because of injury?
Oh yeah, injury is one thing. We're talking about, arrest records now, mug shots, the whole 9 yards.
That's a whole different category.
Yeah, man.
I mean, they still haven't caught that. Was it the one that we were talking about all last fucking year because of
Chief Rice, that piece of shit plays for the Chiefs.
Isn't he? Oh yeah, that one too. Jesus,
Yeah.
the arrest.
Hey, Colin is here.
There he is.
Oh,
All right, bud. So we're gonna get this kicked off here pretty quick. You ready for you ready? Ready for your intro there, guy? All right, here. Let me go ahead and get you queued up here. Hold on just a second. Got you something new this week.
Rising from the smoke comes a spark. He is bent on has been set right.
There
It's
we
the
go.
greatest genetic code ever to exist here for your ears and eyes to feast upon. Spartan Colin, I hope you're bringing the smoke tonight. Someone get me a joke.
Nice.
Nice.
That one better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to call you out by name, and then Chris was like, "Something about a weapon's got to be in there," and I'm like, "Hey, there we go."
And he's gone.
No, he's getting his material for the evening.
I was about to say. I was like, there's a lot of
But he
silence.
cannot disappoint because Master Chief said to bring the smoke.
Of course, you gotta listen to Master Chief.
Awkward silence requires a dick joke.
No, I'm about to say some shit. Apparently, for the top chat, in the Elon Musk and Trump speech right now, which is happening now on X.
Yeah, it's live on X. Yeah,
Keep up with us. Viewers are reacting to a boring interview between Elon Musk and former President Donald Trump, where the two are not engaging in policy talk, and Trump appears to be having slur speech. Many are expressing their disappointment with the interview and calling for it to move on to a different topic, which is actually not true, because it's actually I've been reading off and on, and it's actually a good one.
all right. Bring the smoke, Colin.
How do you know if Helen Keller is alive? If you hear something fall down the stairs.
Wouldn't that also be her ghost too?
Oh,
That'd be pretty funny if it was both the ghost and her.
Solid start. Solid start.
oh man. God. Woo.
We never have to worry about the blind or the deaf community ever saying anything bad about us.
Well, maybe the blind, because they can still hear.
Yeah, but it probably doesn't sound the same. I mean, if they fucking can't see.
It's more like they're sensually enriched adjacent.
Yeah, they got like the hearing of a fucking bird. They actually shit guano, from what I understand, allegedly.
Hey, Matt Murdock was blind and he saw everything. So shut up.
True.
I love blind people. I actually got blind friends. They don't see shit.
Because they're blind.
You could like rub one out in front of them and they wouldn't even know.
That'd be weird.
No, it's kind of like we were talking last night with Dave, and I'm like, I'm thinking I need a new hobby. I need to go and help out the elderly and involve myself more with people with like dementia and Alzheimer's and shit that can't remember. So I figure I start going to nursing homes and go into that, department where the Alzheimer's and dementia people are and just start yelling at them and shit. And maybe it'll spark something back. But
Hi, I'm
I'll feel
Ted. All right, Colin, go for it.
How did Helen Keller burn her face? She answered the iron.
Yeah, we.
How'd she burn the other side?
They call back.
They called back.
Yeah, you've done that one before.
I've never told that one.
Yes, you have.
You actually have. This is Dave saying.
I write down every joke I tell,
Yeah, but
and it's not in there.
when Dave calls you out on it,
Yeah.
bro.
I
I mean, we get it. You're under a lot of stress
go
because
back.
school starts this week. Are you
telling
throwing
you,
the penalty
before
flag?
I go-
You want me to go back and read and watch the tapes.
Before I make sure I never retell jokes. I go back in my notes and look
You
through
are
every
human.
joke I've ever told.
I never seen that young of senileness.
You're human. You're prone to mistakes. We get it. This was your one. And I mean, unfortunately, you've used up the one that everybody else had available to them because David eats up the rest of the quota.
That's true.
That is very true. It's very, very sadly true. Do you know they make like Hawaiian bread tortillas?
Mm-hmm.
King's Hawaiian bread?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I got a pack because I was gonna make steak tacos.
That sounds fucking delicious right now.
I get the chile, the dehydrated chili, and I do all that and I mix it all up and put it in the meat.
So I see in the news that Wichita Falls is about to get a Winco Groceries, right? I'm on the phone talking with my mom, and she mentions it.
Where?
I don't know. Over there by Walmart and Taco Casa on Lawrence.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, all right. Well, it'd be nice if y'all got an HEB. I love my mother, but then she says this. HEB is kind of expensive. What? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna let that go. Like, don't besmirch the good name of HEB. Howard Edward Butts. Here, everything is better. Come on now. Part of the Texas Trinity for a reason.
It is true. I would love to have a HEB. I mean, the only thing that we have that even shyly comes close is Market Street.
Yeah, but that's just a glorified Albertsons, though.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But it's the only place in town that
They're
you can
owned
get.
by Albertsons.
Yeah. What's really sad though is it's the only place other than the commissary you can get a boar's head meat, like ham and everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I did get some boar's head blue cheese from HEB this weekend, though.
That's great.
Love
I love
cheese.
boar's head.
All right, Colin.
I know for a fact I've never told this one.
Oh, okay.
What is Helen Keller's excuse every time she loses this competition? Couldn't see. Okay, don't blame me if the jokes are bad. Blame internet.
Is that a cyanide pill in my mouth? I don't know. I don't know.
He spent all this time making this new intro. He specifically added on there, bring the smoke.
I mean, the first one had the first one was meeting the mark. See, let's rewrite that joke a little bit for you, Colin. What's Helen Keller's excuse for not winning dance competitions? She kept missing her marks.
See, there you go. Solid.
Yeah, that's
I
not bad.
can see that.
See? Don't get upset, bud.
Upset.
Okay. It sounds a little bitter, right? Sounds a little salty. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Bye.
See? Come on, guy. The Max is being special with both hands. We know he's not doing
Max
anything
just
under the
being
table.
special.
We know he's not doing anything under the table.
Autism. That's hilarious.
Well, so Colin has been under a little bit of stress. I'm giving him a bit of an out this week. School starts back up this week. So for those of you who have kids, it's time to return custody to the teachers. So there you go. Moms will be able to day drink again. Dads will do dad things. Yeah. So I spread. Oh, well, you know what? We're gonna play your outro, and then
Slipping out through the fog of war, this Spartan continues the fight. Your souls have become collateral damage in the battle against the flood of moral supremacy. Leave your expectations at the door on your way out and marvel before the pillar of tactical prowess. Ladies and gentlemen, angry faithful of all ages, this has been Joke Time with Colin.
okay. So need you hang out, Colin, because we're gonna get into some nerd talk. It's all good. Okay.
Well, here's some really weird stuff. What is happening with Mr. Beast right now? I know the whole thing about the pedophile guy.
Well, okay. So members of his crew are being outed because the internet is just full of like semi-professional private eyes,
Yeah.
and each one of them are armed with a very crafty digital shovel made out of netherite, apparently, and then they put an enchantment of toughness on it or something. See what I did there? I made a Minecraft reference. Yay me. Mr. Beast, he's able to do the things that he can do because he gets all of these donations, all of these infusions of cash by the from the efforts of his media team, from his entourage, basically, and they're leaving in droves. And it's not anything that's going on with him, because he's other than the fact that he has never really vetted anybody before putting them on camera.
Yeah.
I mean, he's about as spotless of a record as you're going to get. So it's, I mean, he does make money on his own from things like his Mr. Beast bars, Mr. Beast, burgers, which is never like an actual like brick and mortar location. You can only get it through like DoorDash, DoorDash, things like that.
Yeah, it's like people making them in their kitchen or some shit like that.
Yeah,
it's not that, but it's something similar. You're eating burgers from other companies.
Yeah, but which is genius when you think about it, because it cuts down on your overhead. But the thing of it is that Mr. Beast's biggest problem is that he never vetted anybody. He didn't do his due diligence. He didn't take the time to do a background check on people to go, hey, you've got this, you were messaging this minor. I'm going to need you to go like as far away from me as possible.
Why can't you take him in the back of the barn?
Well,
give him the
even then it wouldn't serve to accomplish anything. So what I think needs to happen is that behind the scenes, I think Mr. Beast needs to become a lot more stringent and studious with his business decisions. I don't think that it needs to affect his on-camera personality or his public persona, because the guy just genuinely gives money away, right? And
Yeah.
granted, yeah, a lot of it is him doing stupid, stupid stunts and things like that, or having people participate in these endurance challenges or whatnot. But I think for the most part, it's very well mannered, very well intended. I just think that the people that he has surrounded himself with are, for all intents and purposes, less than desirable. And could you put some of the blame on him for not doing the homework and some of the legwork to make sure that these are the right people? Yeah, you can. But I mean, as far as, does it make him guilty by complicity? No, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't make him guilty by association either. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that, I mean, I messed up only once, and luckily it wasn't like too horrible. It was just a person that was really not that in their right mind. Of course, we just transfer that to other people. So, but it
I mean, it could
happened.
be worse. I mean, he could have had somebody like Tim Walz on his team drinking horse cum. I mean, there's that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Team,
Tim
Mr.
Walz
Johnny.
and his wife are worth like about $138 million each, or collectively rather. But yet their daughter, who had about $200,000 or $300,000 worth of student loans, had her all of her loans forgiven. She has a zero balance.
I think it was 87,000.
Was it 87,000? I read somewhere it was like 200,000 or 300,000.
It might have been updated. The article I saw said 80 something.
But it's the
either
fact
way,
that,
when
it's
you're
like,
$138 million.
yeah,
combined, I think you can cover a couple.
yeah, I think you can cover a couple hundred grand. Yeah. But there was a NASCAR race in Richmond this weekend.
Yes, there was.
And it had quite possibly the best ending ever. I'm not the biggest Austin Dillon fan, but I am a fan of the number 3 car for obvious reasons. I mean, praise Dale, raise hell, right?
Yep.
And seeing Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin eat the wall in the span of less than a straightaway from the same bumper, I'm here for it. Joe Logano gets out, and you want to talk about the biggest display of butt hurt double standard. Joey Logano was it this weekend. When he got out of the car, he was steaming mad. He's like, "That's bullshit." He backed up into me. He didn't even. He drove into the corner. He didn't even brake. 4 or 5 car lengths. He's like, "I understand the dump and run. Hell, I do that." He's like, "But that was bullshit." I mean, he was going off, right? And I am dying laughing. I mean, and of course, Denny Hamlin, he's here so he doesn't get fined, right? He's become the new Kyle Busch, right?
Okay.
So, he has shot his mouth off enough to where I think Coach Gibbs has pulled him to the side and said, "Hey, you might want to zip that up and rethink about what you say when you say it, because otherwise, it's going to be real hard to market you to potential sponsors," kind of a thing. So, he came out and he was like, "Well, the record book won't care how Dillon earned the Richmond win." And at the end of the day, he's right. He's exactly right. The history books, or the record books rather, the stats are going to look at it. I mean, this was career win number 5 for Austin Dillon. He's got a Daytona 500 win to his credit. It's just, where and how. I mean, he was driving his ass off. He got beat on a restart, fair and square. Great, awesome. And it took him moving Joey Logano up the racetrack in a very dramatic fashion to get the win. And great. Joey Logano is, if he's as great of a driver as he claims to be, and everybody thinks that he is, the way that he slid, he could have saved that. He could have saved it.
Listen, he didn't. I mean, everybody, you know, they're talking about, oh, he came in from, what was it, 4 or 5 car lengths back, but he did not hit him hard enough for that warranty.
No, he didn't. He didn't even so much as crumple the front bumper of that Camaro.
Like I said, when they separated, there was no damage.
Yeah,
he
none.
bumped him.
He did
just a little bump draft.
Yeah, I mean, he just bumped him right in the middle, right in the apex of the turn.
Yeah, but it also looked like he let off.
Yeah, I mean, he did, because if you look at the telemetry, he does back out of the throttle there.
Yeah.
And which is funny because as soon as he stepped back in it, he, you know, Denny Hamlin, he did turn his wheel a little bit to the left to get into Hamlin, though. And I respect that, right? And I don't know if it was intentional, but it sure as hell looked like it. But I mean, he
look at it in slow motion, though. It didn't look like he really, like it was, he came up the track.
Oh, Hamlin did? Yeah.
Oh, for sure came up the track. Like, you look at it in slow motion, and it wasn't until he was already on his way up there. So it looked like he was anticipating. It looks like he turned into him, but he was anticipating contact.
Yeah. I mean, you want to look at you want to look at a way, you want to know how to screw up the playoff picture. You get the guy who's running 34th in points, earn himself a victory and a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I'm like, okay, all right, yeah.
I mean, everybody's crying about it, or well, at least those two are crying about it, and all the apologists for them are crying about it. But you know, I mean, it's like you said, you've seen that exact same thing time and time again from both of those drivers. And he even said, this is a you know, a make it or break it race. You're like, okay, so he was being a heavy competitor and you're going to cry about it because you got caught in it?
I mean, he in the regular season,
he obviously had the faster car.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the regular season standings were concerned, he moved up 6 spots after yesterday to 26th overall. And that's the regular season standings. Now, if you want to talk about playoff picture, okay, you got number 1, which is Kyle Larson. He leads the way with 4 victories. And you got Denny Hamlin with 3, Christopher Bell with 3, William Byron with 3, Ryan Blaney with 2. Tyler Reddick with 1 win, Chase Elliott's with 1 win, Brett Keselowski's got 1, Alex Bowman's got 1, and Joey Logano's got 1. That rounds out the top 10. Then you've got Daniel Suarez with 1, Austin Cindric with 1, and Austin Dillon with 1 at 13th. Okay. The drivers below them, 14th, 15th, and 16th, is Martin Truex Jr., Ty Gibbs, and Bubba Wallace, each of them with no victories. Martin Truex Jr. is 78 points back from the leader. Or no, he's 78 points above the cut line. Ty Gibbs is 18 points above the cut line. Bubba Wallace is a measly 3 points above the cut line. That, and I'm not kidding you, that can change with a single stage next week. If Ross Chastain, who is 3 points under the cut line, has a better stage finish by 3 positions than Bubba Wallace does, they swap. Because if it comes down to it at the end of the season and there's a virtual tie between 16th and 17th, they're going to look to see who's got the overall better average of finishes, who's got the most, you know, and if they're tied after that, they're going to look at overall stage points. If they're tied after that, then they're going to go down to, I think it's like who's won the most poles, you know, kind of a thing. But I mean, and not Denny Hamlin, but Joey Logano with his 1 victory, he's locked in. And now Austin Dillon is. I'm here for the chaos, man. That's why they made this playoff format the way that they did. Now, do I think that Austin Dillon has some kind of like false sense of security or some kind of jacked up ego thinking he's the next incarnation of Dale Earnhardt? No, absolutely not. Do I think that the 3-car, you know, making those kinds of moves helped bring a sense of Earnhardt-ism to Richmond or back to Richmond? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things where It may have not have been the smartest move, but I think it was a popular move as far as the fans were concerned. You know, especially your diehard traditional fans who have rooted for an Earnhardt, a Petty, or a Gordon. You know, they're used to that kind of bumping and beating and banging. You know, I don't want to hear this rubbing his racing garbage because I mean that just further legitimizes the damn near train wreck, cinematic train wreck of Days of Thunder. I mean, I say that and I own the movie, but
That's a classic.
it is. But you know, the whole rubbing his racing thing. Look,
Well, they weren't rubbing; they were just
they weren't rubbing. I mean, that was slight contact, and I think that, you know, I don't want to say that Joey Logano, you know, dumped his car to make a point just so he could go on a little rant. No, because Joey Logano, as much as I don't like the guy, he's a consummate professional. As far, well, I don't say consummate professional.
yeah.
Let me back up and retract. He's a competitor. He's not going to give up a win just to make the other guy look bad. Now, in all likelihood, in all realism here, in all reality, rather, is Austin Dillon going to make it out of the round of 16? Probably not. I mean, we'll just call a spade, which is funny because a spade is part of his logo.
Right.
But it's fun to see little unintentional nostalgic throwbacks in the NASCAR series. Seeing the 3-car win that way, absolutely. I saw a picture today. It showed the wreck. It showed Dale Earnhardt dumping Terry Labonte at Bristol, and then below that, Austin Dillon dumping Joey Logano, and then below that was a picture of Dale Earnhardt going, you know, with a big smile on his face. I'm like, okay, I get that. Okay, I get that. The number 3 car is always going to be Dale Earnhardt's car. 100%. Doesn't matter who's driving it. That's Dale Earnhardt's car.
Yep.
You know,
it's like his spirit rides with him every time.
Yeah. I mean, do I think that they need to retire that car number? I don't know. Part of me is kind of like, hey, just, you know, let's not do anything else to dilute the legacy that number is going to have.
Well, that number is owned by that league.
It's
right?
it's owned by Richard Childress. He bought the charter for that number. It's just like, speaking of charters, it's like trademarks anyway. Teresa Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt's widow. She owned the trademark and the stylizings for the 8 for Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 8 car. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She let that trademark lapse. Guess what? Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his sister swooped in and bought it. They bought the trademark, so they got his stuff back, basically. Now, for anybody who's been keeping up with behind-the-scenes stuff, there's always been an ongoing internal family feud between Teresa and the stepkids. The NASCAR community at large really kind of views Teresa Earnhardt as the Wicked Witch of the West. I mean, she was probably, at the time that Dale Earnhardt Incorporated folded and they were purchased by Chip Ganassi Racing, she was probably one of the most hands-off owners. She would never go to the races. She wouldn't go to the shop. She would just stay at the house or stay in her office, you know, at the Garage Mahal in Mooresville. But I don't know. I mean, you would kind of hope that the kids, you know, Dale and his sister can, you know, make nice with Teresa, just for, if anything else, to get access to some of their dad's things, you know, because now there are grandkids involved. You know, it's like these grandkids, they want to be able to kind of immerse themselves in their granddad's stuff, right? Because you know about that. You know that Dale Sr. was still alive. Boy, I tell you what, he probably would be retired by this point. Actually, most definitely would be retired by this point. But he would be content as a bug in a rug to sit at home watching the races on Sundays, them grandbabies bouncing on his knee.
Yep.
Well, that is true. Yeah, I believe that.
I mean, he'd probably be teaching Isla, which is Dale Jr.'s oldest daughter, how to hunt. You know, like, let's go bag you a deer. You know, I mean, the world is as far as safety standards are concerned, as far as the world of NASCAR, it's a lot better because Dale Earnhardt died. But I think just kind of the racing community as a whole, really, I mean, the loss is unquantifiable. I mean, just the personality alone. Yeah. But we're not going to go down that road, you know, right now. I mean, that's saved for, you know, something else. But the next race is going to be this coming Sunday, the 18th. It's going to be a 1:30 Central Time start. It's going to be the Firekeepers Casinos 400 from Michigan International Speedway. It's going to be on the USA Network, which is more than likely going to be brought simulcast on Peacock. Just kind of look for that maybe last minute. It's going to be picked up on the radio by MRN, which is the Motor Racing Network, or on your Sirius XM radio in your car, channel 90, or your Sirius XM app on your mobile devices. I'm kind of interested about that one, but the race that I'm looking forward to is going to be the one on the 24th. That's going to be the cutoff race. It's going to be Darlington International. I mean, not Darlington. It's going to be Daytona International Speedway. So that's going to be a fun race. It's going to be, you know, the super speedway race. It is going to be the cutoff race before. Actually, no, the cutoff race is actually going to be moved to Darlington. So they're going to hold the Southern Cookout Southern 500, and that's going to be the cutoff race. But the Coke Zero 400 will be at Daytona. That's only 160 laps, but it is a 400-mile race. And it is all about how your car handles in the draft and whether or not you are better leading or you're better as a pusher, and who can make those last lap moves. I mean, who's going to be able to pick the right line? Who's going to be able to see the good runs coming and get down in time? It's all about pit strategy. I really hope it doesn't turn into a gas mileage race. I really don't. I really do hope that it doesn't turn into one. Because I think, you know, these super speedway races being turned into gas mileage affairs. What
does that mean exactly?
That means you're going to run that car as far as it'll go before it runs out of gas.
Long stretches under green.
Long stretches under green, alternating pit sequences, you know, come in for right side tires, come in for left side tires. You know, we'll wait to put in gas because the more you run that car, but in between fuel or fill ups, the weight comes out of the back. That spoiler gets stuck up in the air even higher, and it creates more downforce, and that makes you faster. So, but the trade-off is that you go faster, you create more speed. More speed means using more fuel.
Start chewing tires too.
Yeah. So, and with Goodyear playing with the compounds the way that they have been all year long, it's a toss-up because right immediately after that, Darlington, the first round of the playoffs is going to be at Atlanta. Atlanta was reconfigured. Normally, it's a 1.5 mile racetrack. It was a sister track to Texas Motor Speedway. Same setup, same bankings and the turns, the whole 9 yards. They reconfigured that track to be a 1.5 mile long super speedway. People do not lift at Atlanta Motor Speedway anymore. That's going to be a scary race to start off the playoffs with. So, but we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. I mean, NBC's got the TV coverage. The NBC networks have the TV coverage. You know, going from here on out, rather. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be interesting these last 3 races before they cut off to see, you know, who picks up an extra win that's already got wins. Who's going to race in on points? I mean, are we going to see another wild card like Austin Dillon qualifying for the playoffs and pushing somebody else out? You know, Would I love to see Bubba Wallace miss the playoffs? Yeah, absolutely, I would.
Right.
You know, I mean, I know that he doesn't listen to this show, and neither does anybody that he's associated with. But you know, sure, I'll be what do they call it? Bulletin board fodder or material? Yeah, sure. Fuck it, Bubba Wallace, you suck. Come on, man. Seriously.
Bigly.
There's a reason I backed away from you in the autograph line.
Still, God, I love that happened.
That was so funny.
But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, today I went to GameStop, picked up the
Claptrap.
well, no, Claptrap I got at the theater last night.
Not at Gans. That's right. It was.
Yeah, the what do they call them? The fucking Squishmallow. Yeah, Squishmallow with the butthole on it. Yeah.
Classic.
That's not why I went though. I mean, I just legitimately went to go like window shop, and then I saw, do what now?
Just a happy accident.
It was just a happy accident. And because I mean, I was standing there and I was actually checking out, and I picked up a copy of Final Fantasy VII Remastered and Final Fantasy 13, which I know it's not a popular one, but it's whatever. I picked it up for $5. Leave me alone. Actually, I picked it up for $4.25. So yeah, there you go. Do I bother getting the protection on those discs? No. Why? Because I am anal about my discs. No, I don't leave them on. I don't leave them laying around anywhere. They go back in the cases after I'm done with them. They don't get scratched. But all that aside, I was sitting there and talking to the lady behind the counter. I was like, you know these Squishmallows that you got back here, Squashmallows? And she's like, yeah, what about them? I said, one of them's got a butthole. And she's like, what? I said, yeah, got a butthole. She's like, no, they don't. I went over there and I grabbed it.
Promise you it does.
I was like, yeah, it's right here. And I showed it to her and she goes, oh my God, I have got to buy that. And I was like, no, because I'm going to buy this.
Yeah, not this particular one.
Yeah, not this particular one. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I did waffle back and forth on it. I was like, I don't know. I really don't need it. She's like, oh, come on, buy it. I'm like,
really need anything, do you?
They really don't need anything. I'm like, fine, whatever.
That is something that you need, though. That qualifies as
well, and I was like, okay, so as far as like temporary relevance is concerned, yeah, I had to have it because somebody did bring it to the attention of GameStop on their Twitter account and Twitter in true Twitter fashion. GameStop was like, wait, there's an explanation, and then they didn't explain it. They just left it there.
We're gonna have to take those all off the shelf.
Well, hey, what I got a stuffed animal with a butthole, so it is what it is now.
It'd be funny if it's one of those super collector ones, and you only got there's only 100 made,
right? But now this is now the new Bad Touch Bob, right?
Yes.
No, there's no substitution for Bad Touch.
No, that's Butthurt Billy.
There you go.
Butthurt Billy. Butthurt Billy's even got the butthole. See, right there. Let me get that nice and zoomed in there, like there.
It's a nice starfish,
right? So I handed it to the lady behind the counter, and she goes,
"Your balloon,
that's not a butthole. It's a cyclops." And I had to stare at it for a second. I'm like, yeah, I guess I can kind of see it, kind of like a Kilroy kind of a thing going on with the nose,
tiny eye, and
yeah.
No, at that point,
that is a straight up butthole. And this is the only one. This is the only type of those Squashmallows that has one, because there was myself and two other dudes that were just complete randos, right? They were like, no, does it really have a butthole? And I showed them. They were like, do any of the other ones have? And I was like, no. So what do? They go digging through this box of Squashmallows looking for another butthole. And they're like, none of them have buttholes. That one's the only one that's got a butthole.
Damn
oh my God. I was like, yeah, but why does this one have a butthole? I'm like, because that's clearly a tail and it's up and you see the spot. Like, this is Bad Touch Spot. That's what this is.
I like Chris's better.
Bad Touch Billy. You like Bad Touch Billy?
Bad Touch
Okay.
Billy.
Bad Touch Billy. Okay.
Butthurt Billy.
Butthurt Billy. There
Yeah,
we
there.
go. Butthurt Billy. Yeah. So that way we don't accidentally infringe upon the trademark that David hasn't filed yet.
Yeah.
You need to get on that, dude. Seriously.
I'll deliver that to Max. He needs stuff to do.
Yeah, get on that, Max.
It's part of his extra duty.
Yeah. 7 and 7, bro. But, all right, so we're coming up on an hour and a half, and we're approaching the 9 o'clock hour Central Time. So I don't know, guys. I mean, unless anybody's got anything else, I don't know. I kind of propose that maybe we land this plane. Again, programming note: I will not be here next week for next week's show because I will be at the Juice Box in downtown Houston watching the Red Sox play the Astros. So
Should be interesting.
So, Colin, you could either sit that show out. It's up to you. Or, you can participate and, at least one skeleton will be on the show, kind of a deal. It's up to you, guy. If you want to do it, fine, great. We'll talk about it this weekend when I got you, and we'll get a hold of David and, make things happen. So
I'll just send the listing to you, and you can just send it to him.
Okay. Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, so I don't know, guys. What do you think? We should land this plane, right?
I'll just pop it back.
Let's go ahead and land it.
Pop it back.
I know that no matter what happens, I can accept how this ends.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, that was a random sound. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, angry faithful of all ages, we thank you for spending the last hour and a half with us. This has been Nerd Sports episode 173. As always, I am Johnny Skelton.
I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Chris Jacka.
I'm Colin Skeleton.
And that was Max.
That was Max.
You're
pointing the wrong way.
All right.
Max.
And in the immortal words of the late lesbian pirate Firecrot.
Right.
Nope. Wait.
Fish lips.
Darren Mary.
Ooh, yeah. The
Fish
great
bucket.
late pirate Fish Lips. Scissor me timbers. Har. Squirt.